Hello and welcome to this pit stop for Guardians, a game designed by Calljn Flores and published by Plaid Hat Games. In Guardians, 2 or possibly 4 if you're playing the team variant, players are going to draft superpowered technology advanced heroes from a set of 10 that come in the game, but you get 8 in the draft, and each team's going to end up with 3 in a standard 2-player game. Now, these two teams can be fighting over locations. One of them is rebelling against the World Gov, and the other one is trying to stop this rebellion. It's all key to controlling these here and moving the control markers along. And when you control it, you're going to score the points, and the first 9 points will win the game. So we start by drafting. When you draft the characters, you get the 3 characters to fight over, but also that's how you're going to build your deck for that particular game. You're going to get a set of basic cards. Everyone will get 2 of each of them. And then you get certain cards depending upon which character you've chosen. And they also give you ultimate powers that don't go in your deck, but you can trigger those. So on a player's turn, they get to go through 5 different phases. In the control phase, they're going to check these locations and they're going to see if they've got a readied, meaning not exhausted character next to a location without there being an opponent there. And if that happens, you get to move a control token 1 space towards yourself. Next thing you do is then you're going to ready your characters, and that's if any of your characters have been exhausted, you get to turn them back up again. Characters can also get knocked out during the course of the game, and that's the second way in which you can claim these control points. If Grave had been knocked out, the control marker would move 2 spaces towards the opponents, but on the very next round they get to come in again and you choose which location that character comes in to play. Then we get to the heat of the game, and that is the action phase. And in the action phase, each player gets to take 3 different actions. Now, the first thing you can do is if your hero is not exhausted, you can move it 1 spot to an adjacent space, and these are considered adjacent and they do not wrap around. After moving, you can also attack. Now, a standard attack would be to exhaust your hero. Let's say we took Ronan up here, and do whatever their damage status is to their opponent. Now in this case, Ronan has got a special power and they all have a special power, and his base damage is 2, but he gets +2 for each hero there. So we turn him around and we would do 4 damage across there to Valkyrie. And we might want to have attacked with Grave here to do 3 damage to Astra, which would have put her above her health limit, and that would have knocked her out and moved this control token. But there are different various statuses you can put on the heroes in the game. And the first one here is this shield status, meaning that this character cannot be damaged till the beginning of this player's next phase, and that will get thrown away. The Mauler here has been immobilized, and you also can power lock a character, meaning that their cards can't be played out of that player's deck, and also their ultimate power cannot be triggered. Now, how a lot of those effects can come into play, and a lot of what you're going to do is going to be playing these cards from your hand. Not all cards require an action, but they've got one of 3 different things you need to have on them. If they belong to a certain character, that character is usually going to have to be not exhausted. Some of them are going to require an action, and for these ultimate ones, like I say, they're going to be charged up. Let's have a look at them. So the 3 basic cards everyone's going to get are reposition. So you ready a hero you control, you may move that hero to any other location, so preventing that adjacency thing, and also you can see this one does cost an action, and it gives you a charge token. So the charge tokens go on here, and we'll talk about the ultimate powers in 2 secs. You also get a barrier, which lets you shield a hero you control. It's been done here on Astra, and we've seen that effect. And also Intel will let you draw 2 cards. Now, you can spend one of your 3 actions just to draw 1 card as well, but Intel will do that more efficiently for you. I said the characters have got their own sort of cards. For example, Crippling Shot is an action, and it's in these cards that a lot of the individuality of each of the characters will come out. This is for Astra. Now, Astra's special power, she can always attack at adjacent locations anyway, but this one lets her attack 2 away for slightly less damage. Or Slingshot here for Whiplash lets them move an enemy hero at Whiplash location to any other location, and then they get to power lock that character. Or a Rapid Strike with Ronan, in which instead of just doing that attack and exhausting, he could have attacked and then readied again immediately with the use of this card. And that's like Whiplash moves around characters, that's her power. Ronan attacks very quickly, that's his power. You also get a couple of other things. Each of these characters has got a utility card which doesn't require an action to play. For example, for this one, you can ready Mauler and heal him 4 damage. It's already hard enough to kill as it is. Also in the decks, there are some reaction cards. Now you hold those, they don't take an action to play, but when they are triggered by something that happens in the game, you may play that card. Only 1 reaction card per player, per thing that has happened. And in this case, for example, we've laid a tripwire, and if Whiplash did choose, or anyone chose, to move to Mauler's location, they will immediately take damage for setting off that tripwire. I've been talking about these ultimate actions. They cost an action. Your character that they're linked to must be readied, and also they must be charged up by playing these other, usually the basic cards. For example, this Tide of Steel from the Ronan lets you attack with each readied hero you control, and then ready each hero you control, so a massive attack there. Or for Dragnet, she drags all of the other characters into her particular location and does 3 damage to each of them. And again, the individuality of the different characters that you're going to be recruiting in the beginning of the game and drafting, setting your team, is set by these cards you're going to play. Once you've played all 3 actions, you're then going to check each of these locations, and if the control marker is completely over to your side, you're going to score that location. You simply take it and add it to your score pile. If you've hit 9 points or more, you've won the game. Otherwise, a new location is going to come into play, and they each have individual powers on as well, usually. For example, at the medical centre, whenever you move to there, you get to remove 3 damage from your character. Or at Monument Park, each hero at this location gets -2 attacks. It's very hard to knock each other out here. You're just going to be looking to sit pretty. The last thing you do is that you're going to draw 1 card from your deck. If your deck ever runs out, it's fine. You just shuffle it up and go around again. There's no deck death in here. And you're going to carry on playing round after round after round until you score those 9 points for controlling the locations. And whoever does that first will be the winner of Guardians. This has been a Game Pit Stop. For more videos like this, check out our YouTube channel. For more in-depth coverage of gaming, please find the Game Pit podcast. Thank you.